and welcome back. Wow, we've made it through to the final part of this little mini series on the Living Life Being Human podcast. You might be watching this on my YouTube channel as a video, and on the podcast it's the audio taken from the video. So whichever way you like to experience things, whether that's by viewing it or whether it's by listening to it, I appreciate you being along for the journey. So I'm just going to do a quick recap over all the stages and end up with the final one, which I think is amazing. But stick with me and you'll find out why. So the first stage of Pam Levin's Ages and Stages is the being stage, which is 0 to 6 months. That's stage 1. The second stage is the doing stage, which is 6 to 18 months. The third stage is the thinking stage, which is 18 months to 3 years. We're doubling up each time we go through these. The fourth stage is identity, and 3 to 6 years. The fifth stage is skillfulness and structure, which is 6 to 12 years of age. And this final one is called integration, which is from 12 to 18. So if you are a parent of a teenager, my heart goes out to you. I've got a 16-year-old at home at the moment who's just coming out of self-isolation from school. And he's kind of in the middle of this age now, which is a fantastic age. I love working with teenagers, not necessarily living with them, but I do enjoy working with them because they are so receptive to new ideas and new techniques and trying something new. And change on a moment-to-moment, day-to-day basis. And the reason why they do that is because between the ages of 12 and 18, we recycle the whole 12 years that we have done before. So they go through all those 12 stages or those 12 years twice as fast in 6 years, if you can get your head around that. Which is why sometimes living with a teenager is like living with a toddler or a 6-year-old or an adult or anything that comes in between. They've played through this game once, and now they're just cementing their thoughts, their experiences and their feelings. And again, I know I've touched on this, but as a foster carer, this gave me hope that I could help them to go back and maybe refill in some certain parts of their childhood that they didn't get their needs met, that I can support teenagers to just reconnect with that younger person and look at things maybe in a different way. If their life is in a different place now, then the decisions that they made when they were younger might not apply to them, and that's okay. So the integration stage, 12 to 18 years, is to achieve a clearer emotional separation from family. So again, this is pretty much the whole of high school and college and being an adult. So this is where we, at the end of this, is where we release them theoretically into society and let them fly. As a parent, is our job done when our children turn 18? I would like to say no, because mine still come home. They're still very dear to me. We still have lots of contact and everything. So it's not that this is our job done, but it's just that they are 100% definitely the person that they are going to be when they finish this cycle. So they learn emotional separation from family. They can stand alone, safe and secure, knowing that they are going to be okay. They develop independence. Again, it's that moving to college, making their own decisions. They've explored all the opportunities. They've learned to compare and contrast. They've learned to understand their feelings and emotions on a deeper level. They've started to trust their own judgment on certain things, and this is where they really integrate that. They explore that on a deeper level. They integrate with their sexuality and their identity connected. So this might be a stage where our children start to question who they are, their sexuality, you know, boys and girls, and exploring whether they feel that they're in the right body for the feelings and emotions that they're having. This is usually the time where those sort of things will start to be explored by our children and by ourselves. So in this age, what we can do is to allow them to be okay on their own and that they can get their own needs met. We've kind of paved the way for them to express and explore different ways that they can, you know, extend the hand to get support. How do I get my needs met? So it's now's the time that we can say to them, you've got to trust that you know how to do this. You've got to trust that you know how to get your needs met and how to survive and to be independent in the world, but I'm always here for you. So it's kind of like my love goes with you, but this is your time to experience and to explore. And it's okay to start to be responsible for your own feelings and behaviour. And it's quite a big deal that they recycle all this twice as fast. When I said to you that, you know, sometimes it's like having a toddler in the house as well as having, you know, somebody that's quite adult. I'm living with a 16-year-old at the moment, and his mood can shift from one place to another instantly. You know, this is a time where hormones are racing through their bodies. They are starting to make some quite important decisions for themselves during this period. Some that they want us to be involved in and some that they don't want us to know about. As a parent, I came to the conclusion that I don't need to know every decision that my children are making. As a parent, I need to trust that I have taught them right from wrong. I have helped them, you know, to understand what being a good member of society is, that adhering to the rules that are there for the greater good of our all is a good idea, to adhere to those rules. But they're going to be exploring that. You know, this is the time where they do explore certain things. You're talking about, you know, between 12 and 18. So as 18, I would imagine they have explored an awful lot more. It's legal for them to drink. At 16, with a parent's permission, they can get married. So they will be doing certain things that often as parents we don't want to know what our children get up to behind closed doors some of the time. So it's understandable that can be a difficult time for us as well, and it does trigger me, you know, and I'm not a unique person, so I would imagine that there are certain things that trigger you. You might look at what your life was like when you were a teenager, what was going on in my life, you know, what rules did I have in place, when was I supposed to be in from, you know, going out with my mates. You might start to explore the decisions that you made between the ages of 12 and 18 and where that led you, which can, as parents, kind of fill us with fear for what our children are going to do. But also it's a wonderful time where we can support them. Communication is key in all stages of our child's development, but allowing our children to come and talk to us about their mistakes and their failures as well as their successes is vitally important for all our mental health. Sometimes I get drawn into things with my son where I go back to being a teenager. I laugh about it sometimes, but you know, I talk in the kitchen. We have quite a big kitchen. It's the communal hub of the house, and that's where we spend most of our time. But it's kind of like there's two teenagers in there having a he'll say to me, yeah, well, you said that I could do this, and I'll say to him, yeah, well, you said that you were going to do this, and that's why I said that you could do that, but you've not done that, so I'm not going to let you do it. And depending on where I am, I can get drawn into that whole drama of an argument. But then I kind of do wake myself up to the fact, hang on a minute, this I'm an adult now. I don't need to get drawn into this. I can take a step back and just observe the conversation as it's going on. He's pushing me, he's testing me, he's looking for answers from me, he's looking for direction from me, whatever it is that's going on. But at times I can get drawn into that. If my state of mind isn't in a good place, if I'm tired, if I'm overworked, if I've got something going on in my life, I can kind of slip back into replaying that age myself, and that's perfectly normal. So, you know, I do see parents of teenagers where the teenagers are just push. And when I say to them, that's normal, they're doing exactly what they should be doing during this time in their life, they look at me you know, in disbelief. But I am parenting a teenager myself at the moment, so I completely understand from a personal perspective, but I also have an insight into psychologically what that means for them and myself. So I don't always judge myself. If I'm a bit snappy, if I'm a bit, you know, no, this is the rule and you're going to stick to it, I'm not bothered what you think at the moment, this is how it's going to be, I'm okay with that, because I know tomorrow or the next day I will look at that differently. We can have a conversation, we can do things. So, you know, the point of these ages and stages is not that we get it right all the time. It's understanding that we're part of all of this journey together, that we're reparenting ourselves maybe at the same time that we're trying to parent somebody else. So it's quite intricate, the stuff that goes on, as well as, you know, we've got part of our own history that's involved in this connection and communication with our children. So it's just being curious. Give yourself time to just explore what's going on. If you find that you're actually in the midst of a difficult patch with your child at the moment, take a step back from it and look at, what am I doing in this relationship? What part am I playing? When they come downstairs, am I waiting for that next hit, which might not come, but I'm expecting it, so I'm already geared up and stressed about the situation. So I might jump a little bit sooner than maybe I would normally. That might be the case. It might not be. It might be that you're in a good place and they're just coming at you full force, but that's what they need to be doing right now. So if at all you need any support in this, you can join in with pleasure on my Parent Plus page. There's a free private group that's called Parent and Carer Support. There's the main page, Parent-Plus, that you can join in. On the psychotherapy side of things, I've got Jacci Jones Coaching, which is my main page, and I've also got Anxiety, Stress and Mental Health, which is the private group. So just connect. You can message me, jacci@jaccijones.co.uk. There's lots of different ways that you can contact me. So if this has piqued your interest, or if you've got any questions about this, just get in touch, ask away. I'm here to answer any questions that you've got, so feel free to connect with me at any time. I hope that's helped and it's not overwhelmed you, and that you have got something from maybe learning a little bit more about how you got to where you are, and in doing that, understand that our children are just carving out their own path at the moment with our support and guidance. So I shall speak to you all very soon. Take care.